The Discovery, the stars shone cold and distant as the exploration ship Aurora drifted silently above the surface of the uncharted planet. Captain Leora Kane stared at the strange readings on her screen. Noticing a faint energy signature that pulsed beneath the ground, it was unlike anything humanity had seen before, a steady rhythm that seemed almost alive. She leaned closer to the console, her heart beating faster, knowing this signal could change everything. "Commander, do you see this?" she asked, pointing at the holographic map. Lieutenant Eric Novak nodded slowly, his eyes wide with excitement and fear. "This energy is enormous," he said, "but it's buried deep. Under layers of rock and metal, the team knew it would take careful planning to reach it, but curiosity burned hotter than caution. Dr. Celine Harrow, the lead scientist, activated the landing thrusters, guiding the ship down toward a flat plain where the signal seemed strongest. The ground below shimmered in the planet's pale light, a mix of blues and grays that felt almost unreal. As the ship landed softly, a cloud of dust rose around them, and the team stepped out, their boots sinking into the strange soil. The air smelled metallic, tinged with something old, something that had slept for thousands of years. "According to the scans, the structure is massive," Dr. Harrow said, pointing to a barely visible ridge in the distance. "It's not natural," Eric added. "These lines, these shapes, they were made." Deliberately, Leora felt a shiver run down her spine, sensing that this was more than just an ancient ruin. The hum of energy beneath their feet grew louder. Vibrating through the ground and into their bones, they approached the ridge carefully, the landscape revealing itself as they drew closer. What they saw was staggering. A colossal structure half buried in rock and soil, its surface covered in strange symbols and patterns. It looked like a ship, but it was enormous, far larger than any battleship humanity had ever built. The metal gleamed faintly under the planet's weak sun, untouched by corrosion, as if it had been waiting for them. Could this be a dreadnought? Eric whispered, barely believing his own words. Dr. Harrow shook her head slowly. "It's impossible. These are thousands of years old, maybe older than recorded human history, but the designs, the structure, it all seemed familiar. As if humanity had once built machines like this and then forgotten." Leora felt a mix of fear and awe, knowing that they had uncovered something that could rewrite everything humans knew about themselves. The team worked quickly to clear the entrance, their tools scraping against layers of rock and metal. Dust and small debris fell around them as they uncovered a doorway, shaped like a wide arch, ancient and perfect. A low hum resonated from inside, a sound that was not mechanical but alive. Almost breathing, Dr. Harrow placed her hand on the doorway, and a faint light pulsed under her fingers, reacting to her touch. "It's responding," she said, voice trembling. "It knows we are here." Leora took a deep breath, signaling the team to enter slowly. Inside, the air was cool and still, filled with a soft glow that came from walls embedded with unknown crystals. The hall stretched far into darkness, enormous and silent, a place that had not known footsteps for millennia. Holographic displays flickered to life suddenly, surprising them. Symbols and images floated in the air, showing maps of planets, stars, and strange machines. A voice echoed, deep and melodic, in a language that was not human but somehow familiar. The team froze, hearts pounding, knowing that they had awakened something ancient, something intelligent. Dr. Harrow approached a console, her fingers hovering over controls that responded to thought. Lines of code and energy flowed across the displays, forming images of cities, battles, and enormous ships. It was humanity, but not the humanity they knew. A civilization far older, far more powerful. We built this," she whispered, "or our ancestors did." Long before recorded history, the hum grew louder, filling the hall with vibrations that seemed to speak to them directly. Lights danced along the walls, showing rooms and corridors that were still intact. Untouched by time, Eric's eyes widened as he studied the holograms. Realizing the ships were not just machines, they were weapons. Carriers of power beyond imagination, Leora clenched her fists, knowing that they had just stepped into a secret humanity had hidden from itself. Suddenly, the floor trembled beneath them, a reminder that the planet was alive with energy. The dreadnought seemed to pulse, as if recognizing their presence. Waiting for them to prove they were worthy, Dr. Harrow's voice broke the silence. We have to record everything, map every corridor, understand every system. But deep down, they all knew this was only the beginning of something far larger. Far more dangerous outside, the sky darkened slightly, clouds swirling as if the planet itself reacted to the awakening. The hum of the dreadnought merged with the wind, a sound that was both beautiful and terrifying. Leora looked at her team, seeing a mix of fear, excitement, and determination in their faces. They were not just explorers anymore, they were witnesses to humanity's hidden past, standing at the threshold of a power that could change the galaxy. And as they took their first steps deeper into the ancient ship, none of them realized that something else was waking too, watching, waiting, patient for the humans to discover what had been buried for millennia. Awakening the past, the interior of the dreadnought was vast, its ceilings towering high above, disappearing into shadows that even the lights could not reach. Leora Kane led her team cautiously, their footsteps echoing in the hollow metal corridors, each sound amplified like a drumbeat of warning. The hum that had greeted them at the entrance grew louder, vibrating through the walls, the floor, and even their very bones. Every glance at the glowing panels and strange glyphs reminded them that this place belonged to a humanity far older than their own. Dr. Salimi Harrow studied a holographic map that hovered mid-air, her fingers brushing over it as images shifted and moved. "This is incredible," she whispered, awe breaking through her usual calm. "It's like the ship remembers its history." Eric Novak frowned, eyes scanning the walls. "Do you think it's alive?" The question hung in the air, and for a moment, no one dared speak, as if the dreadnought itself waited for an answer. A sudden flash of light burst from the far end of the corridor. Drawing their attention, panels and consoles activated one by one, forming a web of energy that traced the ship's contours. Then a voice spoke, low and resonant, echoing from every wall and corner. "Humans. Authorized. Awaken." Leora froze, her heart racing. Did it just speak? Dr. Harrow nodded slowly, eyes wide. "Yes. But the language, it's not one we know, and yet I can understand it." The words seemed to flow directly into their minds, translating themselves into thought. "It is recognition. The ship knows you," Dr. Harrow said, voice trembling. "It is responding to our presence." As they moved further inside, the hall opened into a vast chamber, filled with light and energy. Holographic displays floated above platforms, showing star systems, battle formations, and ships unlike anything in modern history. Eric leaned closer to one projection, tracing the shape of a dreadnought larger than their entire fleet. This is ours?" he asked, disbelief heavy in his voice. Dr. Harrow shook her head. "Not ours, not yet. This belonged to humanity long before recorded history, to ancestors who commanded unimaginable power." The hologram shifted, showing glimpses of cities, massive war machines, and people moving in strange ceremonial ways. It was as if the past was alive again, replaying a history lost to time. Hidden from humanity itself, Leora felt a chill. Realizing the scale of what they had uncovered, they were not just exploring a ship, they were stepping into a civilization that had existed long before their own. Suddenly, one of the consoles pulsed brighter. Projecting a humanoid figure made of light, it looked human, yet perfect. With features sharper than any face they had seen, eyes glowing with knowledge. "I am the Guardian," the figure said, voice resonating in their minds. "The past is now yours to witness, but your choices will shape the future." Dr. Harrow stepped forward, almost instinctively. We are ready to learn," the Guardian nodded, and the walls around them lit up, displaying histories, wars, and achievements of humanity's ancestors. The team watched in awe as the story unfolded. They saw how dreadnoughts had been built not for conquest, but for protection, guarding planets and civilizations across the galaxy. Civilizations had risen and fallen under their watch, and humanity had hidden its power, burying the dreadnoughts to avoid misuse. Leora realized the weight of their discovery. They held knowledge and power that had been lost for millennia, and it was dangerous. Why hide it? Eric asked, breaking the silence. Why let all this disappear? The Guardian's image shimmered. Power without wisdom destroys. Humanity's ancestors chose caution, knowing the galaxy is not always kind. Dr. Harrow's mind raced, thinking about the implications. If we reveal this, it could change everything. Technology, society, even wars. Leora looked at the glowing figure, determination burning in her eyes. We must learn first. Understand fully. Before we act. A sudden vibration shook the chamber. A low thrum that felt different from before. The lights flickered, and a new energy reading appeared on their instruments, one that was moving, alive, external. Dr. Harrow's voice dropped. Something else is here. Something older than the ship. Watching, the team instinctively moved closer together. Realizing that awakening the dreadnought had not only revealed the past, but had also drawn attention from the unknown, Leora clenched her fists, determination and fear mixing. We came here to discover, and we will, but we must be careful. The Guardian's light dimmed, the voice softer now. Learn well. Act wisely. The galaxy waits, but danger follows. The energy pulsing around them slowed slightly, almost calming, as if acknowledging their resolve, but deep down. Every member of the team knew this was only the beginning, that the dreadnought had awakened something beyond history, something that might not be friendly. Outside, the sky continued to swirl. Storms of energy moving across the horizon. The planet itself seemed alive now, reacting to the awakening of its long-buried secrets. Leora looked at her team, faces full of wonder, fear, and curiosity. Together, they took another step into the dreadnought, ready to uncover the truth of humanity's hidden past, unaware that the galaxy had begun to notice their presence. And somewhere in the shadows of space, a force older than any living being stirred, drawn by the awakening of power long forgotten, waiting for the moment to reveal itself. The hidden threat. The crew of the Aurora moved deeper into the dreadnought, their steps cautious as shadows stretched along the enormous corridors. Every hum of energy seemed louder now, vibrating through the walls and floors like a warning. Eric Novak's hand never left his sidearm, eyes scanning every dark corner. This place. It feels alive, he whispered, voice tight with tension. Dr. Harrow nodded, studying the holographic panels that floated mid-air. Not alive. Aware, she corrected. It senses us. As they entered the central chamber, the lights flickered and dimmed suddenly. The hum shifted, becoming a rhythmic pulse. As if the ship was communicating in a language of power, Leora Kane felt a chill run down her spine. Something is coming, she said, her voice steady despite the fear curling in her stomach. Before anyone could react, a low rumble shook the floor beneath them. Vibrating through the corridors, the crew froze. Realizing this was not an ordinary tremor, but the activation of something buried. Something ancient, panels lit up along the walls, revealing hidden compartments opening in synchronized patterns. From the shadows emerged massive constructs, metallic and strange, moving with a precision that made the team step back in awe. They were humanoid in shape, but enormous, taller than any human, covered in armor that shimmered with energy. Dr. Harrow's voice shook. Automatons. Defense systems. They're still active. Eric aimed his weapon, though he knew it would do little against these guardians of the past. The dreadnought pulsed again, almost guiding the crew, as if telling them these machines were not enemies. Yet, a holographic display projected a map of the planet, showing hidden tunnels and ancient strongholds. The guardians moved along paths outlined in light, patrolling areas that had not known life for thousands of years. Leora whispered, "We have to understand them, or we will trigger a war we cannot win." Suddenly, one of the guardians raised its arm. Releasing a beam of light that cut through the chamber, it struck the floor near the team. Sending sparks flying, Eric ducked instinctively, shouting, "It's testing us!" Dr. Harrow studied the readings. "No. It's scanning, analyzing, learning." The dreadnought systems hummed, interacting with the guardians as if the ship and its protectors were one mind. Leora stepped forward, holding out her hand. "We mean no harm," she said, voice firm. The light beam paused mid-air, almost hesitating, then slowly retracted. The guardians returned to their patrols, moving silently but always watching. "It's like it wants to see if we are worthy," Eric muttered, eyes never leaving the massive machines. The team continued deeper into the dreadnought, corridors opening into chambers filled with holograms of past battles, fleets of dreadnoughts and planets under their protection. Dr. Harrow's fingers traced lines of energy. Our ancestors. They built these to defend the galaxy, not to conquer it. Eric frowned. Then why are these still active? Why are they testing us? Leora shook her head. Because we woke them. Because we touched power that has slept for millennia. A sudden alert flashed on the holographic map, showing a cluster of unknown energy readings on the planet's surface. Dr. Harrow's eyes widened. Something else. It's here, moving fast, and it's ancient. Older than the ship itself. The crew exchanged tense glances, realizing that uncovering the dreadnought had not only revealed the past, but had awakened a threat lurking in the shadows. Leora clenched her fists. "We cannot retreat. We have to learn how to control this power. Before it controls us." The guardians now formed a line, blocking certain corridors and allowing the crew to pass only through safe paths. Each step deeper into the ship revealed more about the lost civilizations, their fleets, and their battles against unknown enemies. Dr. Harrow paused at a hologram showing a massive dreadnought army, each ship linked by energy lines. These could destroy planets," she whispered. Eric's jaw tightened. "And now we have the key to them." Leora looked at the team, determination burning in her eyes. "Then we must be smart? Careful. Every choice matters." Outside, the planet shook as something stirred beneath the surface. Massive shadows moving in hidden tunnels. The dreadnought sensors picked up movement, revealing ancient beings, slumbering predators, or perhaps rivals, waking to the signal. The crew realized their mission had changed. They were no longer explorers. They were the first line of defense, witnesses to a hidden war stretching across millennia. Dr. Harrow whispered, "The dreadnought chose us. But the threat is bigger than us." "Bigger than humanity," Leora nodded. "Then we adapt. We learn." And we survive. The Guardians moved with synchronized precision, guiding and warning the crew while the ship pulsed like a heartbeat. The energy of the Dreadnought filled the chambers, showing visions of the past and glimpses of dangers yet to come. Leora looked at the glowing displays, knowing that the real challenge was only beginning. Somewhere beneath the planet, and perhaps beyond the stars, the hidden threat watched and waited, patient and relentless. And as the crew prepared to confront the unknown, they understood that awakening humanity's ancient power came with a price. The Dreadnought had opened the past, but it had also opened the door to danger that had been sleeping for thousands of years. Every step forward brought new knowledge, new power, and new peril. And humanity's hidden past was no longer buried, it had begun to shape the future. Secrets of humanity, the Dreadnought's corridors seemed to stretch endlessly. Glowing with energy that pulsed like a heartbeat, Leora Kane led her team carefully, aware that every step might awaken something new. The Guardians moved silently alongside them, massive and watchful, a reminder that they were not alone. Dr. Selene Harrow studied the holographic displays that floated in the air, her mind racing to understand the scale of what they had uncovered. "This is incredible," she whispered, pointing at a hologram showing a vast fleet of dreadnoughts, each larger than modern ships. Eric Novak leaned closer, eyes wide. "Our ancestors. They didn't just explore the galaxy, they protected it." The walls lit up with images of humans leading massive armies of dreadnoughts against enemies long forgotten. Leora felt a mix of pride and fear, realizing humanity had once been a force unlike any other in the stars. As they moved deeper into the central chamber, a massive holographic figure appeared. Glowing with ancient light, it looked human yet perfect. With eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of millennia, "I am the Guardian," it said, voice echoing in their minds. "You have awakened the past, and now you must understand the truth of humanity." Dr. Harrow stepped forward, awe in her voice. "We are ready to learn," the Guardian nodded, and the hologram shifted to show a history hidden from the galaxy. Civilizations rose under the protection of dreadnoughts, thriving with knowledge and peace. But wars came too, threats from beyond the stars, and humanity's ancestors fought to preserve life across countless worlds. The Guardian explained how the power of the dreadnoughts was immense, capable of both creation and destruction. "That is why it was hidden," it said. "Humanity chose caution, bearing its power to prevent disaster." Eric frowned. "So all this time, we've been small, weak, unaware of what we could be?" The Guardian's gaze seemed to pierce him. "Power without wisdom destroys. And history has taught this lesson many times." Dr. Harrow's fingers traced the holographic lines, showing ships moving faster than light, weapons that could end planets. Leora understood the responsibility that lay before them. They held the knowledge to awaken an army, but they also held the choice to use it wisely. Suddenly, an alert appeared on the ship's sensors, showing movement on the planet's surface. The energy readings were unfamiliar, old, and dangerous. Dr. Harrow whispered, "The awakening has attracted attention. Something ancient is coming." Leora's jaw tightened. "Then we have no time to hesitate. We must learn quickly." The crew realized that the Dreadnought's secrets were not just history, they were a key to survival against the threats that lurked in the galaxy. The Guardian guided them through chambers filled with advanced technologies, systems that could harness energy, manipulate gravity, and control entire fleets. Every hologram showed lessons from the past, how to build, how to defend, how to survive. Eric studied the combat simulations. Our ancestors were not just explorers. They were warriors, scientists, and guardians. Dr. Harrow nodded. And now the responsibility falls to us to decide how this power is used. The hum of the Dreadnought grew stronger, as if urging them to awaken more, to take control of what was once hidden, but the Guardian's voice warned them. Do not act recklessly, for the galaxy watches, and danger follows power. Leora took a deep breath. Looking at her team, we will learn first, understand every system, before we make a move. The energy of the ship flowed around them, lighting the corridors with visions of humanity's past glories and mistakes. Every step forward brought new revelations, but also a growing awareness of the threats that waited outside the ship. Suddenly, a massive shadow moved across the surface of the planet. Large and deliberate, sensors showed something alive, ancient, and powerful. Approaching the dreadnought, Eric's voice was tense. It's coming for us. Or for the ship. Dr. Harrow's hands flew across the controls, scanning, analyzing. We are not just learning history. We are about to face it. Leora nodded, determination burning in her eyes. Then we must be ready. Humanity's secrets are our only hope. The Guardian's hologram flickered. The past has awakened to meet the present, and the choice of the future is in your hands. The crew felt the weight of responsibility. Knowing that knowledge alone was not enough, they had to act wisely. Every system on the Dreadnought pulsed with energy, alive with the memory of human ingenuity and power. Outside, the planet's surface rumbled as the ancient threat drew closer. Unseen eyes watching every move, Leora took a deep breath. We will not fail. Humanity will rise again. And we will protect what has been hidden for millennia. And as the crew prepared for the challenges ahead, the Dreadnought hummed with anticipation. Its guardians stood ready, and the ancient technologies awaited human understanding. The secrets of humanity were no longer buried. They had been revealed, and with them came the power and the danger of the past. Humanity's final choice, the stars above the planet seemed to flicker with warning as the crew of the Aurora prepared for what lay ahead. The Dreadnought hummed like a living being, its energy flowing through the corridors and into the minds of its human operators. Leora Kane stood at the forefront, her eyes fixed on the glowing control panels. Feeling the immense power that humanity had once commanded, Eric Novak tightened his grip on his weapon. Though they all knew that no conventional force could match what they were about to face, Dr. Celine Harrow activated the main console. The holographic displays revealing the positions of unknown forces approaching the planet. These readings, they are enormous, she whispered. Older than anything we have seen. Faster than our sensors can track, Leora nodded. Then we use what our ancestors left for us. Carefully, wisely, the crew understood the stakes. They were not just defending themselves. They were defending humanity's hidden legacy. Outside, massive shadows moved across the planet, enormous and deliberate, stirring the dust and rocks like pawns on a cosmic board. The Dreadnought's guardians lined the corridors, activating ancient defense systems in response to the approaching threat. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing fleets of dreadnoughts hidden beneath the planet's surface, waiting for the command to awaken. Eric's voice trembled with awe. We could destroy everything out there, or protect it, depending on our choices. Leora took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. This is our chance, she said, to show that humanity is not just small and weak. We can rise, we can protect, we can be strong. Dr. Harrow's fingers flew across the controls, activating energy shields, weapon systems, and propulsion units. The Dreadnought responded instantly, as if it had been waiting for this moment for millennia. The first waves of the ancient threat struck the planet, massive tendrils of energy and matter colliding with the surface. The Dreadnought's shields flared, absorbing the blows with precision and strength. Outside, the ground shook violently, rocks and dust flying into the sky. The crew watched the holographic displays, coordinating every move, guiding the dreadnoughts hidden beneath the surface. Eric's eyes widened as he saw entire fleets of ancient dreadnoughts rising from underground. Engines glowing, weapons ready. This is unbelievable, he whispered. Our ancestors built an army for this exact moment, Leora nodded, and now it is ours to command. Carefully, the dreadnoughts formed a line, facing the threat with calm precision, energy fields intertwining, creating a barrier of light and power. The battle began, silent at first, then eruptions of energy and light lit the sky. The crew worked in perfect harmony, activating weapons, shields, and propulsion, guiding the ancient machines with skill and courage. Dr. Harrow's voice echoed through the control room. We can do this. If we trust the dreadnoughts and ourselves. The Guardians moved through the corridors, activating systems and protecting the crew, their presence a reminder that the past and present were now united outside. The enemy forces faltered as humanity's hidden power revealed itself. The dreadnoughts struck with precision, overwhelming the attackers with technology and strategy from a forgotten age. Eric watched, awe and pride filling his heart. We are not just humans. We are the heirs of something greater. Leora's voice was steady, commanding yet calm. Protect the planet. Defend the legacy. Show the galaxy what humanity is capable of. The battle raged for hours, energy beams cutting through the sky, ships rising and falling, but humanity's forces held strong. Finally, the enemy retreated, ancient shadows vanishing into the void. Leaving the planet scarred but safe, the dreadnoughts powered down slowly, their hum fading as if acknowledging the courage and wisdom of their operators. Leora looked at her team, exhaustion and relief in their faces. We survived. We protected the legacy. Humanity has risen, Dr. Harrow smiled, tears in her eyes. We have learned the secrets of the past, and we have used them wisely, Eric nodded. The galaxy will never underestimate humanity again. The Guardian's hologram appeared one last time, glowing softly. You have chosen well. The future of humanity is brighter than before. Leora took a deep breath, looking at the dreadnought, knowing that their story was only beginning. The planet was quiet now, the dust settling. The stars shining brighter above, humanity's hidden power had been revealed, tested, and proven. The dreadnoughts returned to their slumber beneath the surface, waiting for the day they might be needed again, and the crew of the Aurora knew that they had glimpsed the true strength of humanity, a strength that had always been there, hidden, waiting to rise. As they prepared to leave the planet, Leora whispered, "We have faced the past, and now the galaxy will see what humanity can achieve." The engines of the Aurora roared to life, lifting them into the stars, carrying the story of ancient power, courage, and the final choice that defined humanity. And somewhere in the cosmos, eyes watched, knowing that the era of humanity's hidden power had truly begun.